Good morning, YouTube. Hope all is well. Today, my video is about failing as a father. That's right, failing as a father. Let me give you some insight. I, as a man, was born in a household that had a mother, a father, two sisters, and me, the youngest of them all. For the first 6 years of my life, I didn't want for nothing. I mean, I had what I needed, and for the most part, I got what I wanted because the man that I called my father, the man that I'm named after, was in the household. We had a decent house, and for the most part, I ain't want for nothing. That was cool, you know what I mean? But going back and thinking, I never had that much action with my dad unless, he had a moment to spend time, but he never imparted no wisdom. He never imparted no knowledge. He did try to spend time with me, but spending time with me consisted of, when he wasn't working, ride around his car, going to these different houses, and I would be playing in the basement with different kids, and, it would be women there, it'd be men there, they'd be doing whatever they'd be doing, and, I used to go to the bar with him, and he used to run numbers, and I would sit at the end of the bar with a root beer in one of them beer mugs, a root beer soda in a beer mug, a hot dog, and a bag of chips. And while he was tending to his business or doing whatever he was doing, I pretty much was just sitting there chilling. Back in the day, kids used to go in bars with their parents. It's crazy, but that's what I know in Philly. That's what I observed as a child. So for the first 6 years, that was the existence. I recall he took me to a Sixers game, and it was Halloween, and I think I was Batman, either Batman or Spider-Man. I can't remember. I can't recall, but they had a costume contest, and I was able to go on the floor, and this white kid won this big candy bar. It was huge, and I think they gave everybody else regular candy bars, and I wasn't mad because this costume was better. I just had one of them joints. You go to the store, and they used to come in the box, square box, and it had the mask, and it had the little plastic suit, it had a little cape on it, and that was my costume, you know what I mean, with clothes underneath. This little kid had on an actual costume that was made. White folks go all out for Halloween. That's just they shot, you know what I mean? By my observation and in my opinion. I'm not going to say black folks don't do it, but I think white folks always went a little bit harder when it came to Halloween. That's just, based on my observation. So, with all that being said, first 6 years of my life, I was in the house with my father. And then one day, I saw some things. I mean, quite a few times, verbal altercations. One time he had a gun and he threatened my mom in front of us. And we, I was a kid. I was like, what is going on? Like screaming and howling, we was crying and whatnot. But he did it. Now, them people old now. I'm older. I'm 55. So this happened 40, 50, 50, 50 years ago, 50, 49, 48, 50 years ago. And, you know, they sat us, I remember my mom sat us down and said, all right, me and your dad ain't going to be together no more. And y'all can choose who y'all want to go to. Being as though all I knew was mommy, because that's who was in the house taking care of us and doing. I chose to go with my mom, and going with my mom was a struggle, because we went from somebody taking care of all the responsibilities and bills in the house to my mom having to get a job and struggle with, with her income, and being as though she was complacent because she was taken care of. She didn't have the hustle and drive that she needed, but she did what she needed to do for us to get by. So I went down to Summerville, South Carolina for 4th, 5th, and 6th grade to go live with my father. I didn't want to go for Philly. I don't go to no country. Even though when we would go down south, I liked it. I liked playing and taking my shoes off and running in the grass and on the gravel and playing tackle football and climbing trees and running in ditches and doing all kinds of wild stuff. I liked down south, but I didn't want to live there. But, for 4th grade, it was culture shock like a motherfucker, like crazy. And I said when I was making the YouTubes, I was going to cuss, but I got to be me, man. I'm going to say what most people say. God knows my heart. You know what I mean? It's just that I know I'm more intelligent to use words other than just cuss, but I just be doing it for dramatical effect and to put emphasis on what I'm saying. But it was culture shock. So let me just say it like that. It was culture shock. Because I'm going to do a lot of self-correcting while I'm making these videos, okay? Because no one's perfect. There was only one without spot, no blemish, and his name was Jesus. Hallelujah. But anyway, it's culture shock, man. And then he wasn't hands-on with me. I pretty much got myself up for school, made my own breakfast, because he was married, and his wife, pretty much told me don't call her mom. I said, I would never call you mom. You ain't my mom. And she just told me to call her by her first name, which was Sheila. So that's what I called her, Sheila. Hey, Sheila. How you doing, Sheila? What's for dinner, Sheila? Are we going anywhere, Sheila? That's what I would do. Oh, Sheila. That's what I would call her, by her name. So anyway, she ain't do nothing for me. I had to wash my own clothes. I had to get my stuff ready for school. And, one of the things that I went through with culture shock was when mom and dad was together. I remember he was a butcher and he worked in a supermarket. And I remember one time my dad had gave my mom some money to go take us to buy some sneaks. And she took us to, not his supermarket, it's called Pantry Pride. It's no longer in Philadelphia, but Pantry Pride. It was a supermarket in Philadelphia that is no longer exists. But my dad was the first black butcher. Because being a butcher was a reputable job, because you had to go and be an apprentice to learn how to be a butcher. So that was his profession. That was his job. He was a butcher. So she took us. He worked at the one on 58th in Baltimore. There used to be one on 58th in Baltimore. And she took us to the one on 62nd in Woodland. There used to be a Pantry Pride right there. The building is still there, but it's no longer Pantry Pride. So, long story short, she took us to that store. And, they used to have the sneakers in the bin. There used to be a square bin with bubbles. They cost $1.99. Bubbles. They make your feet feel fine. Bubbles. Bubbles. Bubbles, bubbles, bubbles. They was called bubbles. That's what we used to call poor ass, broke ass sneakers back in the day. So she got me and my two sisters sneakers out of that bin. And we was like, what you doing, Mom? She's like, well, I'm not spending all the money he gave me on the sneakers. So anyway, we go home. We was like, all right, whatever. You know what I mean? Because we always had Pro-Ceds and Converse and Jack Purcells and sneakers of that nature that, you know, it wasn't, you know, people was like, oh, dang, y'all, what y'all doing with them bubbles on? You know, we got teased a little bit. And then my dad came home from work. He was like, hey, you take the kids to go get the sneakers? And she was like, yeah, I took them. So when we came in from playing, he looked down at our feet and was like, yo, what's that on their feet? She's like, sneakers. I bought them sneakers. And he hauled off and slapped her. Didn't I give you the money to buy them sneakers? She's like, well, I had to do something. He's like, no. When I give you the money to buy their sneakers, you take them to go get some sneakers. So what you gonna do? They're gonna take them store sneakers off. They're gonna put on their old sneakers, and you gonna get on the trolley, the 11 trolley, and you know, back in the day, you catch them, get on 11, go to like 63rd, between 63rd and 64th of Woodland. There used to be a sneaker store there, and she took us there, and I remember I got me a pair of purple Pro-Ceds, because I was always different. Everybody used to have the blue ones, the red ones, you know, different ones was like the green ones. And I got the purple joints. I want the purple joints. So we got the sneakers and stuff. Came back home and he was like, yeah, that's what I'm talking about. Next time I give you money to do something for this house, don't you do what you want to do. The money is for them to get a nice pair of shoes. I make money and I give you the money so that you can get what needs to be done. Get what they need and to do what needs to be done in this household. So, you know, that was my experience of seeing my father in action as a man. Didn't say much, just like his father didn't say much. I don't ever even remember having a conversation with my grandfather. You know what I mean? And anytime I've had conversations with the man that I'm named after and who I call, you know, my dad for all my life, it was always about his adventures. He's not talented. He claimed he played basketball in high school. He's supposed to have played baseball. I don't remember none of these things. I vaguely remember. Let me just say that. Let me vaguely remember. But I don't, he can't dance. He can't play cards. He's very good at playing cards, and he's good at telling a story. He was good as a butcher. He could barbecue, for the most part. But he did him. And he'll tell you, he's always told me, I got me. I got me. And that's what he would say. So I was down south, 4th, 5th, and 6th grade. And I said, no, I want to go back to Philly. So I came back to Philly. And I went to Salzburger Junior High School and for 7th grade. It was all right. You know, I tried out for the basketball team. I didn't make it. And I was like, you know, I really miss being down south. I actually, over those 3 years, the years of the 4th, 5th, and 6th grade of going to school in South Carolina, I actually began to like it. I adapted and I liked it. You know what I'm saying? But I didn't like the fact that while I was there, I was very athletic and I could play anything. I could do anything with a ball, catch it, throw it, kick it. I could do anything. Baseball, basketball, football. I could box. But I never played any other. Only sport I ever played organized was basketball and a little softball. Never baseball, but I was good at all those sports. Put a bat in my hand, I can hit a ball. I don't care, overhand, underhand. Anybody pitch to me, I'm going to put some wood on that ball. I used to anyway, but I was athletic. Anybody know me know that I could play anything. Only sport I actually excelled in was basketball, and even in excelling in basketball, I never put in the work. I just was talented. I was talented, but I didn't take it seriously, and I didn't put in the work. So although I would say I was good, I wasn't. I was a legend in my own mind. Upon reflection, back then I just knew I was the man. But now, fast forward to where I'm at in life, and I look back and I reflect. Wasn't that I was good, but I wasn't great. So I didn't go anywhere with it because I didn't put in the work. Nobody never told me I had to. And the people who was telling me I had to, I looked down on them. You know what I mean? I had a sense of arrogance. I had an air about me. People say you have an air, and I used to think it was an AIR, but it's actually an HEIR. So you walk around like you're royalty, like you're better than, but it's just who you are. Most black people got that. They got an air about them. An air, HEIR. So I came back, went to Salzburg in 7th grade, and I wanted to go back for 8th grade. And I went to the family reunion that year. It was 82 going into 83. So that summer 82, I was like, summer 83. I was like, Dad, no, summer 82. I was like, Dad, man, it's all right if I can move back down with you. And he was like, yeah, cool. It's all right, good. Let me talk it over with Sheila. See if it's something that we could do. So, long story short, I went to the family reunion, had all my fly Philly gear, I used to wear Nike Legends. I used to like Legends. They predated Air Force Ones. They predated Dunks. Nike Legends, Legends. They was high top. They came in white. Basically, the Georgetown Hoya joints, the blue and gray joints from Georgetown. When Georgetown and John Thompson was popping, before they got that deal, they were coming white, all white. They would come with white with a blue swoosh, white with a black swoosh, white with a red swoosh. I always liked the white on white joints because they was clean. But they was heavy and they were durable. And, they were good to play ball in and they were good to do anything in. So, lo and behold, I went back down, I had some Legends. I had a pair of Pumas, suede blue joints, the blue joints with the blue joints with the gray Puma, insignia on them. I had them, and I had a pair of ponies. People slept on ponies, but I used to like ponies because they came out with a patent leather pair, and I was the original sneakerhead. But I ain't never take it serious. Like, you know what I mean? I would just, do what needed to be done. So went down there with my gear. I had my Lee jeans. Everybody was rocking Lees back then. I never got a name buckle. I didn't want everybody to know my name. I didn't want to put on Rob Ski or Rob Fresh or Fresh Rob or I just never got into all that. I just had a regular old belt, and by then I was rocking Isaiah Lacoste shirts. Had my satin Philly Sixers jacket, my satin Sixers jacket. I had the red joint with the blue letters. I had my Philly gear. I went back, I was fly. You know what I mean? The trend was and always has been that stuff would hit, the fashion would hit up top. New York, Philly, Boston, Baltimore, and slide down south because of, the inception of videos and what's Word Up magazine and things of that nature. So our style, the style that originated up here was copped. So I went back for 8th grade and I was having a great time. Got to understand when I was up there, every summer I would go to Philly and I lived across the street from a basketball court. And I would be out there cooking. I'd be out there balling. And I was always tall. I've been 6'1" since I was 13 years old. I've been the same height since I was 13. So people would think I was older. So I would play with the older guys and they would beat me up, elbow me, smack me, pull, grab on me. They would do all kinds of things. And that game that I had, I took it down south. And they wasn't into basketball like that. They was more so into baseball and football. But, when we would be on the basketball court at gym time or whatever, I'd be out there cooking, doing what I'm doing. But I didn't like Sheila. Because at this time, my father was cheating heavy. He was sleeping with the woman up the street from our house. He was, he was a whoremonger. He just, that's what he did. And he just slept around a lot. He liked sex, I guess. I mean, I don't know. I guess he was trying to prove something. I don't know. But he was sloppy. He cheated with the girl asleep. So Sheila knew. So she was treating me bad. And I used to be like, yo, what's your problem? She was mad at me because she was mad at him. So she would take it out on me. So that's my first introduction into how adults lose sight of just because you're mad at another adult, you should never take it out on a child. So this is the precursor to how I failed as a father. So, I used to come home every day and she worked at night. I used to blast the music real loud. You know what I mean? We want the phone. We got the phone. We want the phone. Whatever. Firecracker, come dance for me. I just like to see the way you move it. Brick, dun, 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 house. Whatever the banger was back then. 777 93 11. I would play these songs on the radio real loud while she was sleeping. She had to go to work. She would come back out here. Lil Rob, turn that music down. I would turn it down for a little bit. Then when I know she's asleep, I would turn it back up. So I was just being a butthole because of how she was treating me. So this was me getting back at her, but she had the last laugh. She told my father, yo, he can't stay here no more. He got to go back. So if y'all don't know, school starts down south in August. So lo and behold, school hadn't started in Philly yet. So this nigga came home. Oh, I'm sorry. This dude came home, told me to pack my stuff. I had a Foot Locker, a chest, and opened up and you pull, and it had a compartment. It had a tray inside where you could put your socks and your underwear and stuff, and you take that out and then you put your clothes at the bottom. So he said, pack up all your stuff. I said, why? He said, you going back to Philly. I said, for what? Oh, she don't want you here no more. I said, well, I'm your son. Why are you getting rid of me? So we get in the car. We go from Somerville, South Carolina to the train station in North Charleston, South Carolina, and we ride. And I start crying. I say, why are you doing this, man? You don't love me? What's your problem, man? Why can't we just get a place and me and you go get somewhere to live later for her, man? She mean, man. He's like, man, you don't know, but one day when you get older, you're going to have to learn that your wife comes before anybody. And I was like, what? I said, but I was here as your son before she was your wife. He's like, that don't matter. You knew how to act, you wouldn't be going home. So he dropped me at the North Charleston train station, gave me a train ticket. And I said, well, I don't got no money to eat. I don't got no food. He said, it's nighttime, go to sleep. By the time you wake up, you be in Philly and you get home and you get something to eat. I was like, wow. So I get on the train, I cry myself to sleep. I wake up hungry, nothing to drink, no water, no nothing. I get to Philly. I get off the train at 30th Street Station. No one's there to pick me up. I'm like, my mom ain't here? So I called home, 215-877-5335. That was my phone number. I remember it still to this day. And back then, the phone just rang. It just rang. Nobody answered the phone. My mom answered the phone. My sister answered the phone, and I was 14. But let me go back real quick. When I asked him why he don't love me and why he treat me this way before I got on the train, he never answered me. So that was the answer that I didn't realize until 40 years later. And that's a whole nother video, but let me get back to the story. He never answered the question. So I'm going to drop that tidbit right there, and then I'm going to address it down the line. But let me get this story fast forward to how I felt as a father. Now, I got home. I called the number, called from the train station. I had some dimes in my pocket, some change, but it wasn't enough to buy something on a train. It was like only like 50 cents or something. And back then, the markup on goods on trains and stuff, it was expensive, like $2-3. And, you know, it was more than what it is today. So whatever was $2 then, it's probably $6 now. The bottom line is I ain't have enough to get nothing, but I had enough to make a phone call. So I made 2 phone calls. So when your phone ring back then, if you didn't hang it up, it would take your dime. So after it rang a few times and nobody answered, I hung up the phone, the dime came back out. I put it in the phone, I put it in the dime again, and I called 215-477-6154, which was my aunt's phone number, my cousin Rodney. And I called, and my aunt answered the phone. I was like, hey, I'm Mark, yo. Is Rodney there? She's like, yeah. Rodney got on the phone. I said, hey, Rodney, man, I'm at 30th Street Station. She said, I thought you was down south. I said, nah, they sent me back. I was like, he was like, what? They sent you back? Where your mom at? I said, I don't know. He was like, Mom, Rod be at 30th Street Station. He don't got no car fare to get home. Could you give me some money to go get him? So she's like, he at train station. He don't got no money to get home on a bus. And she's like, no. He was like, no. And so she gave him some car fare. He came from 50th Street, 50 from Brown to 30th Street, 30 from Market, got me. We jumped on the 38 bus, got off at 42nd to Parkside. I walked to my house on Lighty Avenue. I knocked on the door. The door was locked. My mom opened the door and said, she wasn't like, hey, son, hey, how you doing? What you doing? She's like, what you doing here? I was like, he sent me home. And she was like, what? No, he didn't. No, he didn't. I was like, yeah, he did. She was like, look at your hair. She gave me some money. I went around the corner and got a haircut. Because my hair, he used to let me wolf and look all crazy and whatnot, just like my beard woofing now. That's how my hair on the top of my head used to look all crazy and nappy and peasy. I wasn't, I was kept, but I wasn't, until I started realizing that I had a little something to work with, this canvas, until I started painting on it. I used to just be wild and rough looking. So, long story short, in 8th grade, I ain't see that dude again till 12th grade. I ain't talked to him. I ain't seen him no more. I ain't seen him till the week of my graduation, June of 1987. And I was like, what you doing here? I said something like, what you doing here, nigga? He was like, what? I'm your father. Don't talk to me like that. I said, man, whatever. Last time I saw you put me on a train with no money, no food or no nothing. And I haven't talked to you since then, so what you doing here? He said, well, I sent you child support money. And he had sent me $25 in December at 86, and he sent me $25 in January 86, December 86, and then $25 in January of 87. $50. And I hadn't seen him since 8th grade. I ain't seen him in 4 years. I pulled that out my pocket. I said, well, that little stink ass $50 you got, I had like $300 because I was working at the time. I used to work at a hotel and bus tables, 22nd of Spring Garden. And I was like, man, whatever. You know what I mean? So I'm here for your graduation. I said, for what? Well, I came to support you. I said, for what, nigga? For what? What are you here for? Oh, you my son. I'm always going to be your father. I was like, yeah, whatever, man. I ain't see you since August of 1983, and it's June 1987. That's 4 years, bro. I don't need you. I don't even know why you here. So, no, kept playing ball, whatever. Now, the point where I failed as a father is that, first of all, I can tell you, as a man, an older man now, that has gained knowledge, you gain knowledge from learning and wisdom from experience and living. Once again, you gain knowledge from learning and wisdom from experience and living. One more time, clarity. You gain knowledge from learning and experience and wisdom from learning, from experience. I'm just butchering this up, but I don't care. I'm going to say it one more again. Knowledge from learning, wisdom from living and experience. So, being an experienced man, number one, if you're not going to be with somebody long term, don't have a baby with them. If you as a man are just sleeping with a woman, protect yourself. Don't go on hormone birth control. I have an IUD. My tube's tied. Don't go by, I can't have babies because I got fibroids. Don't go by none of that. Either two things you need to do: abstain or wear a condom. Knowing where I'm at right now, I would have kept it in my pants. For old folks, you say keep it in the pants. I'm that old dude now telling young folks keep it in your pants. Because two things are going to happen. You might get caught up and catch a disease. You might caught up. Because my sexual education as a young man from my mother was don't get nobody pregnant. So my pull-out game was immaculate. Because I ain't know about condoms. I ain't know about condoms till I went into the military and had an actual sex education class on condoms, abstinence, venereal diseases, or as they call them, STDs, or what they call them now. I forgot what they didn't change the wording on it, but I always still call them STDs, sexually transmitted diseases. And I got a whole course on it because I was a medic. I was an EMT medical assistant, so I got a whole course on it, and then I learned. But even then, I was like, what's the point of having sex if you got a condom on? I was ignorant. Not ignorant because I lacked knowledge, ignorant because it didn't make sense to me, so I was like, whatever. So, I hate being a stereotypical black man in the black community who has contributed to the demise of the black family as a black man. I am actually embarrassed because I'm a stereotypical black man. Things that I said I never was going to do, I end up doing. Never have kids out of wedlock. Never had kids by multiple women. I failed. as a man I failed myself because as a man, as a young man, I said I wasn't going to do those things. Have kids out of wedlock. And not be with the moms. So I have a spades hand. I got 3 with a possible 2. I got 2 kids that are 30 years old. That's another video. Greek Picnic 1993. They both 30. One just turned 30 February 5th. The other one February 3rd. Other one turned 30 in either April 11th or something like that. But both of those moms told me I wasn't the father. No, the oldest one, the one that just turned 30, his mom told me straight up, it's either you or this other dude's baby. And I was like, wow. But she was honest. I don't know who the baby daddy is. It's either you or JS. But either way, I'm keeping my baby and we'll figure it out as we go along. And I was like, what? But that was her truth. And then the other one was like, I'm pregnant and I'm mad because I ain't want no kids. I said, well, you know that's my kid. And she was like, no, it ain't. It's my boyfriend kid, because I was her side piece. I was her jump off. And I used to bust a condom. Just wrong. But I liked her. And when she got pregnant, I told her, that's my baby. She's like, no, it ain't. My other 3 kids, daughter Rihanna, love her to death, love her to life. I've let her down. So I failed as a father because I had other women in her face. And people would always tell me, when you go get your kids, don't take your new John or your latest and your latest adventure to go visit with your daughter. You were her first love. So I broke my baby heart. And I reap what I sow, because I should have protected her as a father and not have nobody around. Once I realized that she was already 10, 11, 12 years old, and I stopped taking women around my kids. I still would do it, but when it was time to spend time with my kids, I would tell whoever I was with, yo, I'm going to spend time with my kids. And most black women would get mad. What, you still messing with the baby moms? What, you still messing with your baby now? No. When you tell me you taking your kids to Chuck E. Cheese or the Dorney Park or whatever, I don't get like that. You still, well, why can't I go? You still messing with your baby daddy? I never did that. I just be like, all right, cool. I see you when you finish doing whatever with your child. Tell them I said, what's up? I'll be right here. That's how I got down. But when it comes to a man wanting to spend time with just their children, nah, forget about it, son. You're going to hear all kinds of stuff that ain't. And the best thing for you to do is be tone deaf and block it out and be like, well, whatever you think, that's what it is. Go get your child and spend time with your children, with you and just them. My son, Robert, who I begged his mother not to name after me, because I never liked my name, hates me. And it's because when he needed me, you remember that? It's a part in Stevie Wonder's song, where was you when I needed you last winter? He went through some traumatic experience and I didn't show up for him because I was mad that his mother didn't call me. I was supposed to say bunk that and go be with my son. I know why he hurt. I know why he hates me, because where was I when he needed me? I wasn't there. And for that, I'm paying the price, because he's done said all kinds of dastardly mean things to me. I hope you die. I hope you flip in your truck that you drive. I hope I don't want to see you. I don't need you. Get out my face. He talked to me like I'm a nigga in the street. But I reap what I sow, because where was I when he needed me? I wasn't there, because I got caught up and got mad because what his moms did. I was supposed to show up for my child. Always show up for your children, man. Regardless of what the mom, if you got to go to court and get custody, which me as a black man, I always had this thing about court. The court system wasn't set up for us. It wasn't set up for us. So I try to stay out of court as much as I possibly can. Me and you, when we were laying up, where was the court at? When we was doing what we was doing when this child was conceived, the court wasn't involved in the situation. So for that, I say I never wanted to go to court. We could work this out. When I was paying child support outside of the court, my kids got more than when they took me to court. I still got a tab, and my kids are grown. That ain't nobody's fault but my own. So I failed my child on that regard. My son Robert, I failed him. My namesake, I failed him. And I accept it because you know what? One day, hopefully you'll see this video and understand that I was wrong because I got caught up and I lost sight of what I used to say to her. It ain't about you. It ain't about me. It's about this child. It's about our son. It's about what's right for him. He didn't like school. So I used to tell him every morning before he went to school, I need you to repeat after me. I go to school to do the best that I can to make my mommy and daddy happy. I'm not a follower, but I'm a leader, and I will always do my best, even when I fail. I used to make him say that every morning, and his mother told me, you don't got to say that goofy ass stuff. You trying to, I said it, see, I'm trying to get in his head and change his vision of what he was going through with the anxiety of being in school, that he has to remember. I go to school to I go to school to make my mommy and my daddy happy. I go to school to do the best that I can. And I always have to remember that I have to lead and not follow. That's what our black boys and girls need, especially our black young men, because we lazy. I'm lazy. I've worked hard in my life, but for the most part, if I didn't have something motivating me to go get it, I ain't gonna get it. But I learned something in my journey. All this time, I was looking for man to lead me where I should have been looking to my Father, because the God that's in me is greater than he who is in this earth. Amen. One more again. The God that is in me is greater than he who is in this earth. That means he's greater than the devil. He's greater than all the people. That the God that is inside of me, that dwells within my spirit, makes me greater than anything in this planet. And being as though I've been saved for 20-something years, 22 years to be exact. I accepted Jesus Christ as my Lord and Savior. I've been saved. I understand now that I did two things. The two things I didn't do, rather. Let me put it that way. The two things I didn't do. Believe in me, and I wasted a lot of my time. So I've been going on for about 43 minutes, and I spoke about myself to put things into context to have people understand that I realized that my failing, although my father failed me, I should have learned from that. And regardless of what was going on between me and my kids' mothers, I wasn't supposed to fail them. And I ain't even talk about my last boy, Mr. Miles. Oh, he is so wise for his years. He is so kind. He is so respectful. He is, I call him, I got this from Damon Wayans. He called his son Pancakes. Everybody likes pancakes. So I say my son Miles is Pancakes because everybody loved him some Miles. And unfortunately, his mother left and I've had custody over him. So he's the only child out of my 5 children that I've lived with in the house. And I'm not proud to say that, but that is the truth and that's the facts. So I do my best to try to remember that he's not me. I grew up in a different place, in a different time, with a different set of circumstances that he ain't me. So sometimes I talk to him like he me. He got me in him, but he's his own individual and his own entity. So I had to mature to the place that I'm able to speak these things now, because I want to help somebody out there that might be saying F my kids. Later for my baby moms. Don't do that. Look at what your progeny. Look at what you created, whether you love that woman or not. God don't make no mistakes, man. Everybody that's walking the face of this earth has a purpose in the kingdom of God, because he made us for him. So the sooner you figure out that the God that's in you is greater than he who's in this world, the better off you'll be. But even if you say, oh, I made a mistake and got this girl pregnant, no, you ain't made a mistake. You did what you did at that time, and what you did produced the life, and that life is not a mistake. So being as though that life is not a mistake, you have to always keep your eyes on your gift, and how even in the darkest moments of you doing things outside of the commands of God, he loved you so much that he blessed you with a child, an innocent child. I see baby moms dragging little boys and little girls down the street, walking, leaving, letting them walk by themselves. I see kids being mad at the child because they look like the father, or the child look like the mother, and they treat the child bad, or they allow their significant other to treat the child bad. That's wrong. Children are innocent. I forgive everybody that ever did anything to me when I was a child. Because here's an interesting point I'm going to end this video. About 7 years ago, I was working in South Carolina, and my car was parked in one spot, and I had to park my truck. I was a truck driver. I had to park my truck in another spot. So I called Sheila's son, Aaron, and was like, hey, man, yo, I need a ride to my car. He was like, man, I'm on the road. Call my mom's. He said, call Sheila. I said, what? Call Sheila? So I called Sheila. I parked my truck, and I was sitting in my truck. I called Sheila. I said, hey, Sheila, can you come give me a ride to my car? She said, sure, babe. She said, sure, a little ride. I'll come get you. She came and got me. We got in the car, and I asked her, why did you treat me so bad, and why you didn't like me? I told her, I always liked you when you were nice to me. I didn't like you when you wasn't nice to me. And she said, you know what? Let me tell you something, Rob. I was mad at your father, and I took it out on you. But when you know better, you do better. She said, when you know better, you do better. I just started crying, because it made me feel good about myself. Whereas I thought this woman hated. She hated me. That wasn't the case. It was her taking out her issues with my father on me. So whoever out there going through some trials and tribulations right now, struggling with the fact that they had a child they didn't want to have, with a person that they didn't want to be with, first thing you need to do is take responsibility, because if you didn't want to have that child, you could have abstained from sex with that person. You could have protected yourself. But sitting here at this stage in life, I realized I gave myself physically to a lot of people that I shouldn't have. And I apologize to those people now. I've always been real. I've always been authentic. I've always been who I am. I just didn't believe it. So all you brothers out there, I'm talking to my black men. Get over yourself, man. It ain't about you. It ain't about your kid's mother. It's about that child. Fight. Do whatever you got to do. But the first thing you could do if you have a problem with that woman is go to court and get custody. Joint custody, shared custody, visitation. Don't do what I did. Because your children won't be in your life. And I miss them. Because although I wasn't there with them, I would always tell them, it's not about the quantity of time I spend with you. It's about the quality of time I spent with you. And we had some fun, but it was never enough. And that was all on me. So, I hope this video helps somebody. I know I'm long-winded, but this is my story. And I'm going to continue to tell it because I've now realized that I'm not here for me. I'm here to help somebody. And whatever comes about it, I don't have time for tearing people down or dogging no people. I just speak the truth. I walk in the truth. I believe in the truth. And I will always stand on the truth. So, I hope this helps somebody. And I pray that peace comes upon those who are struggling. But men, please do what you have to do to be a father. Because our Father in heaven will never leave, his word says he will never leave you nor forsake you. So just like our Father in heaven will never leave us nor forsake us, we as Father can never leave nor forsake our children, even when they wrong. Just hug them and tell them it's going to be okay. That's my video for today. Peace, love, and happiness always.